Hi, this is Shamrondi from Providence Life Design. So I wanted to talk to you quickly about wood flooring. Wood flooring, I am in the southern part of America, North America, and for the life of me, I don't understand why people consider laminates. I think it is just such a anything that's a wood-based laminate, I don't think it's best for you to use it if you live in a swampy area, like, places in Louisiana and like the Keys and stuff like that, in the Keys in the Key West and southern Florida and parts of Louisiana that's like on the Gulf. It's just bad business. That's my opinion. Okay. So I get a little anxious when I have a client and they've made up their mind about using something, and I think about the actual product. So now I have to talk you out of it. If it's like a cheap flip, okay, this is something to keep in mind. All right, when you're gonna go buy a house, get to understand like what the history of the house ending up on the market, okay, is about. You may have some things that you may want to like redo. So if you get a new home and it's like laminate floors, no, you don't choose a house because of the floors necessarily, but if it's going to be like your forever home, a home that you're going to use for like a long time, I don't recommend that you use wood-based laminate. Don't do that. Waterproof laminate may be okay. Luxury vinyl, that might be okay. It's an alright product. It's not my favorite, okay? But if you must, okay, if you're trying to like avoid some kind of demolition, that's what people usually do. They use the luxury vinyl because the thinness of it, it's like really thin. So you can put it like on top of tile without having to go through the demolition process. But I don't recommend any of that. So today we're going to specifically talk about just wood, all right? Engineered wood, bamboo, and hardwood, okay? I didn't really want to talk about laminates, because laminates is pretty much like what you see and that's it. I find a lot of them to be really rigid, so they don't really work well if you're going to use them on top of another product on the foam, like a tile or something like that. They're going to be a tongue and groove, such as this one as well. But it's made of fiber board. It's literally like powdered, shredded wood fibers, and it's compressed, right? It's super compressed, and then the edges are treated. It's usually treated, on the top, and then on the pieces of it that's important for installation. And that's where you start knowing about like if something is water resistant or is it just regular laminate. So something to keep in mind is if it says that it's water resistant, it is not waterproof. Okay, guys? It's not waterproof, it's water resistant. So that means that superficially you can damp mop it, you can have a little water accident. Nothing should really happen to it, right? But as I've said in many videos already, installation is the root of everything, okay? So if you have somebody who's like knocking your wood in, knocking in your pieces, and he's not taking time to like wiggle this tongue and groove into this tongue and groove, like he's not taking his time to do that, then it's just like you just got like a hurried flooring situation. And if there's a water poses a risk, then you're going to have damage, okay? And you may have damage that your insurance company may not even want to cover, all right? So I recommend that you do like, the 100% waterproof, which is the luxury vinyl, but hardwood is good. So engineered wood, what I wanted to talk about quickly, so we're not running on too long. Engineered wood is usually just put on top of other solid pieces and glued, okay? So these are plywood. I consider plywood pretty solid when it comes to wood floors. If it was a matter of cost between you know, me getting hardwood floors, and I really, really wanted hardwood floors, and then me having to consider something I didn't really want, you know, such as laminate, I would go with engineered wood. Okay, so it has a veneer of wood on top of pretty sturdy plywood. Now, engineered wood can be stained. It can accept stains. If you end up getting a lighter one and then you choose to darken it later on, you can do so. It can take a quick buff. It could take a quick buff with the machine, maybe only one in its lifetime, okay? That's the difference between the engineered and the solid wood. Solid wood, you can give that like 3 different finishes over its lifetime, okay? And it'll still have its integrity and be able to hold up, whether it's a snap in and click or, you know, it was old-fashioned laid-in hardwood. I have lived in a space where I had the wood sanded, and I didn't want to get it polished and stained. This was years ago. This is before I moved to New York to go to design school. And I thought it was wonderful. It just created such a beautiful aesthetic in the space. I had the room painted mint green. I had dark wrought iron furniture and dark woods. It was lovely, lovely, super comfy. The sunlight came in, and it was like it felt wonderful under my feet. I didn't even want to get it like polished and all of that, and you know, commit to a color. And then overall, when you think about, you know, what the eventual history would be of a space, it's like I was glad that I didn't do so. I'm glad that I didn't go through all of that. But it definitely needed a sanding, and the sanding just did wonders for it. So that's also something to consider depending on the grade of wood. You know, oak comes in, you know, oak. Wood comes in so many different woods, flooring, oak and chestnut and this and, you know, cherry. Well, that's pricey, right? But, you know, you're getting all of your different, you know, woods. You got to consider what is considered a softwood, what's considered a hardwood. I know in South America, you know, where we're from, that we have amazing, amazing hardwoods. Okay, I think one is called Purple Heart. They're building exteriors and interiors, hardwood floors, support systems with that wood. Super, super beautiful, and it's stolen a lot, okay? I'm trying not to get political, but it is stolen and taken out without being properly accounted for and so on. But it is one of those beautiful woods that are, you know, iconic. It's sustainable, such as bamboo. So I move on to bamboo. So bamboo flooring is usually created the same way as most laminates, but the problem that I have with a lot of them is that it is some kind of like fiberboard. See how that one is like bent? You know, if you can get bamboo where you're getting like solid planks on top of plywood, solid bamboo veneer on top of plywood, that's going to be the best if you definitely want bamboo. Bamboo is sustainable, and it grows quickly, and it can be harvested and replanted, okay, and the turnover for us on the earth and us using it, that cycle, it's a pretty sustainable type of wood. So if you're doing like green design, where you are creating design of a building, if it's a lot of times if a building is green and it's a home, is a residential home, a lot of times they're going to have bamboo inside, okay? So you're getting the look, the feel of hardwood, the flexibility, aesthetic flexibility of hardwood, but it's bamboo. Now, bamboo is going to have it's not going to have traditional graining going on and burls of wood. You're going to see like where the stalks are, okay? It's a grass, right? Like sugar cane. So, that's just a quick little situation on hardwoods. If you guys are going to do hardwood, make sure that you do proper, okay? Make sure it is going to be an engineered wood. Make sure it's going to be, you know, a solid hardwood. The timber click is another one. Theirs can be a little bit piecemeal, like little pieces of pieced together, you know. But if you want big, elegant planks of solid hardwood, you are going to be talking about a different dollar, okay? But in the end, your children, your grandchildren, your family is going to appreciate it, and it'll be easier on the little boys if they fall down and drop and hurt themselves. This is Shamrondi from Providence Life Design. Love Design. That should be it. Okay, guys, have a great one. Stay colorful. I love you. Take care.